They scoffed. When she stepped onto the plane, no designer bag, no diamond watch, no flashy entourage. They didn't ask for her name. They looked at her brown skin, her natural curls, an economy-class boarding pass in her hand, and decided she didn't belong. She was told, "Ma'am, first class is reserved for premium guests only." What they didn't know was that she owned the airline. Before we go any further, if you believe respect shouldn't come from appearances, but from character, smash that like button, subscribe, and tell us. Have you ever been judged before they knew your worth? Drop your story in the comments. Because today, they messed with the wrong woman. It was supposed to be a quiet flight. One of those last-minute bookings after a brutal week of board meetings, deadlines, and million-dollar decisions. Naomi Clark, age 38, CEO of Avia Global, one of the fastest-growing airline investment firms in North America, just wanted peace. She arrived at the terminal in a plain hoodie, sneakers, and jeans. No makeup, no assistant. She didn't want attention, just rest. But respect, it seemed, was still optional when your skin didn't match their expectations. She walked up to the first-class check-in counter with her ID and digital ticket. The agent, mid-40s, blonde, the kind of forced-smile service that shrinks as soon as you're out of sight, barely looked up. "Ma'am," she said curtly, "this line is for first class." Naomi replied calmly, "Yes, I'm in 1A. The agent's eyes flicked over the screen, then back at Naomi. "There must be a mistake. Hold on. 10 minutes. Then 15. Then whispers behind the counter. And finally, "Sorry, your ticket was downgraded. You'll have to sit in economy." Naomi narrowed her eyes. "Downgraded how?" The agent smirked. "Didn't meet upgrade criteria." "It's random, ma'am. Happens all the time." It wasn't random. Naomi had purchased a Flex Private tier ticket, an executive class code never visible to regular staff. It couldn't be downgraded, and the only people who could override it were she and 2 other board members. Still, she didn't argue. She simply nodded, walked away, and pulled out her phone. As she boarded the plane, her name wasn't even called. She walked past the first-class cabin, eyes watching her like she was lost, like she should have been holding a cleaning cart. She sat in 23B, middle seat, back row. The seatbelt didn't even latch properly. Her head tilted back, staring at the dusty ceiling vent. Silent, still, calculating. Then the turbulence started. Not from the plane, from her phone. She sent one message, Terso, and then another, to the airline's internal audit division. By the time the cabin doors shut, 4 employees had been locked out of the internal system. Within 5 minutes, an alert hit the flight crew tablet. Passenger Clark's seating error under internal investigation. All crew requested to report post-landing to HR compliance. But still, Naomi said nothing. The flight crew passed a row. One flight attendant, a sharp-eyed brunette in a tight bun, leaned toward another and whispered, "Isn't that the lady they kicked from first class? She doesn't look like she flies private anyway." Naomi heard it. She always heard everything. But the fire in her chest? It wasn't rage. It was a cool, controlled blaze of someone who had waited years for the chance to flip the script. You see, Naomi wasn't born into this. She had built everything from scraps. Her mother cleaned houses in Baton Rouge. Her father? A mechanic who died under a pile of unpaid hospital bills. Naomi put herself through Howard, hustled 3 jobs, and founded her first aviation consulting firm from a garage with a folding table and a prepaid phone. They saw Hoodie, but they didn't see the woman who just closed a $2.4 billion acquisition deal, the one that gave her executive power over this entire fleet. By the time the plane landed in Chicago, a black SUV was waiting on the tarmac. Not for a celebrity, not for a dignitary. For Naomi. She stepped off the plane last. No words, no announcements, just silent, undeniable power. The flight crew stared, jaws hanging. Then the brunette attendant turned ghost white when she noticed a polished woman in a navy suit walking up the stairs toward them. She carried an iPad in one hand and a termination envelope in the other. HR, real time. No apologies could fix this. The last thing the crew saw before being escorted off the aircraft was Naomi Clark stepping into her SUV, calm, graceful, unbothered. She didn't raise her voice. She raised standards. But the lesson? Oh, it started long before Naomi ever made her first million. It started in 1985 with her mother. Her name was Gloria Clark, a name most people forgot as soon as they heard it. Not because it wasn't worth remembering, but because it didn't come with a title, a degree, or even a car. She was a woman who walked to work every morning before sunrise, scrubbing floors in downtown law offices where her name was always Sweetheart, or You Miss a Spot. But Gloria didn't mind being unseen, until it meant her daughter would suffer the same fate. That morning, the school called. Naomi, just 8 years old then, had been sent home. Again, the teacher said she was too loud, too confident, that she talked back when she corrected the pronunciation of a science term the teacher had misread from a textbook. Gloria showed up to the school in her cleaning uniform, smelling of lemon polish and bleach. She knocked once on the classroom door, and when the teacher looked up, her smile vanished. "Can I help you?" she asked, blinking like Gloria didn't belong there. "Yes, ma'am," Gloria said, her voice calm but steady. "I'm here about Naomi." The teacher shifted in her seat. She's a bit assertive for her age. Gloria stared at the woman for a long moment, then nodded. "She's not assertive, ma'am. She's smart. She just doesn't know how to make herself smaller for your comfort yet." The teacher frowned. "Excuse me?" But Gloria didn't repeat herself. She turned, held out her hand, and Naomi ran to her. That night, she didn't punish her daughter. She didn't tell her to be quieter or more polite. She took Naomi's face in her hands and said, "Baby girl, the world will make you feel like your skin don't fit in first class, like your voice is too big, like your place is outside looking in. But you hear me now. Don't you ever shrink to make them comfortable. You walking like you belong, even when they don't see it yet. And if they slam the door, build your own airline." Naomi remembered those words. She remembered them in college when she was the only black woman in her aviation finance class. She remembered them when she was overlooked for promotions in favor of less qualified men with less experience. And she remembered them the night her mother died, 2 weeks before her first $1 million contract was signed. That night, Naomi sat alone in her office with nothing but silence and an old voicemail her mother left a year before. "You don't owe anybody your silence, baby. Say what you came to say. And when they ask who gave you permission, you tell them, 'My mama did.'" The voice cracked through her speakers. Naomi wept, but she also rose, because Gloria Clark never got her justice. She died with tired feet and a bent back, never knowing what it felt like to be seen. But she raised justice. She raised a woman who would break the cycle. So when Naomi pulled that SUV door shut in Chicago, it wasn't just for her. It was for every black woman who'd ever been told to wait, to be patient, to smile through disrespect. She wasn't just firing a crew. She was sending a message to every little girl with natural curls and bright eyes sitting in the back row of the classroom, that you don't need to be loud to be powerful. You just need to know who you are. If this story hit you somewhere deep, share it. Let the world know we're not waiting to be given seats anymore. We're building the whole damn plane. Comment below. Have you ever been underestimated because of how you look, speak, or carry yourself? Tell your story, because silence won't save us. But truth will fly. Subscribe for more stories like this, because next time they say, "You don't belong here," you'll know exactly what to say back.